Hi mathematicians, this is Mr. Almeida. In this video we're going to learn how to divide mixed numbers. Remember that when we are dividing, division is finding a number that can divide another number to equal some given number. So in this case, remember that A divided by B equals C, so that that number C multiplies B to equal A. When we talked about division yesterday, we talked about what it means to divide by a number. It means to multiply by that number's reciprocal. And I hope you remember the gesture that we did yesterday. We do the division with our hand by the number, and then we're going to put up our hands for the x, multiply by that numbers, and put your right hand on top and your left hand on the bottom, and you're going to invert the numerator and denominator's position. So that is what is meant to multiply by a number's reciprocal. It is to find the number that multiplies by the given number to equal 1. In general, whenever you're dividing any number, you're going to take the number that you're dividing by, and you're going to multiply by its reciprocal. That is the number that you will multiply it by to get a product of 1. In other words, the numerator and denominator's position will change. All right. When we look at this first example, we have division, and we notice that we're dividing by mixed numbers. Now, because we know that division is multiplying by that number's reciprocal, we are going to want to write the mixed numbers as fractions so that we can simplify before we multiply. So to the left here, please underline what's important. When dividing mixed numbers, we're going to rewrite the mixed numbers as fractions. Okay? And then we're going to simplify that after we are done, okay? So the very first thing is to rewrite each of the mixed numbers as a fraction. So we have 3 1/2. A reminder of how to do this is to multiply the denominator by the whole number. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. And what were you counting all along? Halves. So the number is 7 halves. So we rewrite that, divided by 2 4/5 is 2 times 5, which is 10, plus 4, which is 14. What were you counting all along? Fifths, so 14 fifths. Now that I've written the equivalent of each of these mixed numbers as fractions, I'm now going to use what I know about multiplying by, I'm going to use what I know about dividing by a number. To divide by a number is to multiply by that number's reciprocal. So we're going to copy 7 halves, and to divide by 14 fifths is to multiply, move your hands again, by that number's reciprocal. So the 5 and the 14 change position. The 5 is now the numerator, and the 14 is now the denominator. Now we are multiplying fractions, so we are left to use the product formula. Using the product formula, we multiply the numerators, which is 7 times 5, all over 2 times 14, product of the denominators. Okay. Now it's time to simplify, because we don't want to have to multiply large numbers if we don't have to. We're now going to see if we can simplify by dividing the 7 by 2 by any number besides 1. The answer is no, so we're going to move on to 7 and 14. Is there any number besides 1 that can divide that? Those two numbers? Yes, 7. So 7 divided by 7 is 1, and 14 divided by 7 is 2. Once we've reached 1, we know we are done. Yes. So we're going to now look at the 5 and the 2 in the denominator. Is there a number besides 1 that can divide 5 and 2? The answer is no, because both of these numbers are prime. And if 5 can't divide 2, then the only other number that can divide it is 1. So we are done. Now it's time to multiply across. 1 times 5 is 5, all over 2 times 2, which is 4. So we get 5 fourths. If you weren't told how to write your answer in a particular form, this would be okay to leave your answer as 5 fourths. However, you are going to rewrite this fraction as a mixed number. So how many 4s are there in 5? 1. 1 times 4 is 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. So using your hands again like we did in class, put your 1 up in the air, your hand up in the air, 1, and bring it back down for the numerator, the remainder, 1 and 1. Now go to the right, or the left in your case, 1 1/4. Okay. Now, if you wanted to figure out if 1 1/4 was indeed the correct answer, what you would do is you would multiply 5/4 by 14/5, and you'll get a fraction that should be equivalent to 7/2 if you are correct. So that's how you divide mixed numbers. I'm going to quickly go through each of these steps for the next example, and I'm just going to write them out so you can see what the final answer is. I write them as fractions. To divide by 9/4 is to multiply by 4/9. I use the product formula to multiply fractions. I divide numerator and denominator by 9. And I divide numerator and denominator by 2. I now have 2/5, which is 1 times 2, all over 5 times 1. I hope that you have found out how to divide mixed numbers in this way. If you need to, please go back and rewind the video to figure out the part where you're not quite sure of, and use this to help you as you're going through your classwork for today. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next class. Take care, everybody.